Today we discussed in the last class we discussed about the what is a signal flow graph and what are the properties of signal flow graph and how to obtain a signal flow graph. So we told that it's a set of equations which describe the physical system, set of equations which describe the physical system, then I can write a signal, I can obtain a signal flow graph. So from the given set of equation, from the uh, given set of equation from the given set of equations. So if I have given the equations, I can obtain the signal flow graph. I can obtain the signal flow graph. And also one more is there, that is called from the block diagram. So if I have a block diagram, so no need to use the reduction rules. No need to use the reduction rules. I can directly start with the signal flow graph by converting this block diagram into signal flow graph. So from the block diagram also I can obtain the signal flow graph, and from the given set of equations also we can get the signal flow graph. So how to obtain a signal flow graph from the set of equations? Say for example, if I gave a set of equations, say for example x1 is equal to 2 into say xi, where is the I is the input variable, I is the input variable, so 3 into x2. This is the first equation. And one more, if I have the algebraic equation which is x2 is equal to say 4 times the x1 plus then 5 times the x3 and plus 2 times the x2, then one more variable which is called x3 variable, that is 5 into x2 plus x naught. Okay, this is output variable, xi is the input variable, and then output variable equation is also can write, that is 6 times x3. So these are the 4 equations which I have given. These are the 4 equations which I have given. So from this set of equations, so first one I'm discussing about from given set of equation, from the given set of equations. So how to obtain a block diagram, So now I have described a physical system with this. I have described a physical system like this. Then how can I obtain a block diagram from this? Signal flow graph from this. So first, whatever the variables present in this, say for example x1 and x2 and x3 and x0 and xi. So these are the variables which are present in this set of equations. How many variables are present? There are 5 variables present in this. So all the 5 variables to be written. So here you need to find out the dependent variable and independent variables. Here I is the only one which is the independent variable, because x2 is also depends on x1 and x3 and of course. So that is why the xi is the independent variable. So first we start with the independent variable. We can take that xi is an independent variable, and x1 is depend on the xi. So x2 is also depend on the x1, x3 is also depend on x2, x0 is also depend on x3. So which is the independent variable here? Xi. So the independent variable to be drawn first, so that is xi. So I have to start with xi. So that is the xi. Then from this we can write the x1, then x2, then x3, then x0. So these are the variables which are present. Each variable is represented as node. Each variable to be represented as node. So that is why I have represented this x0 as one node, and xi, x1, x2, x3, all I have represented one node. Then the direction also, this is the one which I can say from the xi, x1 is also obtained from xi, and x2 is also obtained from x1, and then like that I have written. So now from the set of equation we have used the property of the signal flow graph. What is the property of, because x1 the variable is obtained by the algebraic sum of the other variables which are entering into the branch, node x1. So what are the branches which are entering into the x1 is here. So x1 is obtained from the xi, and as well as from x2. So x1 is obtained from xi and x2. So here from the xi, how much is this is the whatever the coefficient is there, whatever the coefficient here. So this coefficient is nothing but which have the branch gain or branch transfer function we can call it as, and 3 is also branch transfer function for the x2 branch. So likewise we need to represent here what is the branch gain from the xi. Xi signal is coming entering into this x1 node with the branch gain of 2, and similarly from the x2 is also it is. So from the x2 if it is coming, then I have to show that there is a feedback. There is a feedback. So I can show this is a feedback from this like this. So I can represent because the signal is entering at x1, because it is a which are entering at this particular node, that is the property which you have discussed yesterday. So x1 can be written as 2 into xi plus 3 into x2. So I can write the branch transfer function of this is 3 into x1. So 3 into x2 plus 2 into xi will give the x1 value. That is how we can represent now. Similarly, now you take the one is over, then coming to the second one. Second one, if you look at x2 is the algebraic sum of x1 and the variable x3 and variable x2, means there are 3 signals are entering at the point x2. There are 3 signals which are entering at that particular point x2 or node x2 we can say. So means from the x1, what is the branch gain or a branch transfer function? That is 4. So from the x1, whichever the signal is coming, that is entering into this x2. See here, if you look at here x1 to x2, there is a signal is entering, and what is the branch gain? Branch gain I can write 4. I can write 4 into x1. And similarly x3 is also having the branch gain of 5, which is coming from x3 is 2x2, means we have to write in the this direction like this. So it is coming like this in a reverse path or feedback path, we can say it is a reverse path or a feedback path. So which you can write as how much? That is the branch gain of 5. So 5 into x3. So 5 into x3. So 4 into x1. So this is one signal, and one more signal is entering at x2, and one more is 2x2. So here it is yesterday we discussed about the self loop where the x2 variable is having entering at the same point, that is I can write as like this. So this is the branch gain value of which is given 2. So x2 to x2, x2 to x2. So this is whenever the variable x2 which is represented like this 2x2. So this is also x2 and this is also x2. Don't cancel out, but representation of equation, it means that this shows that it is a self loop. It is a self loop. This because we are writing the variable x2 equation, we are variable x2 equation. So if he is represented on the right side 2x2, then it represents it is a self loop. It represents it is a self loop. That point means the same variable x2 here and x2 here. Okay, so that represents self loop. That you need to represent the branch gain of 2 with the branch gain of 2 here, and then here you need to represent. So next, that is the second equation which you have represented. Next, coming to the third equation, which is x3 is equal to 5 times x2 plus x0. In the sense, from the x2, so here is the x2, and from the x2, x3 is obtained. So x3 is the algebraic sum of the x2 signal and x0 signal. So x3 is the algebraic sum of 2 signals. One is the x2 signal and a x0 signal. So from these 2 nodes, we are getting with the branch functions of branch gain of 5, and here it is nothing is there, means 1 we can take it up. So here I can write from x2 it is a 5, so like this, and also from x0 it is coming. So from x0 it is coming in the sense we need to give a feedback like a loop like this, which value is 1, which value is 1. You can need not to represent also. Okay, right. So this is how we can. So finally, this is a third equation which have represented. Then finally is x0. The final equation is x0. So x0 is represented with the 6 times of x3 signal. So from the x3 signal with the branch gain of 6 has to be represented in the signal flow graph. This is what which represents of these systems of set of equation in the form of signal flow graph, in the form of signal flow graph. So this is how we can write a signal flow graph for a given set of equations. So what we have done, first and foremost thing is we need to find out what is the independent variable in this. So xi is the independent variable, so that has to be written first. Okay. So likewise, we need to, what are the variable present in that equation, x1, x2, x3, and x0, we need to be drawn. So that is how we represent the signal flow graph from this given set of equations. Okay. So now we'll move to the how to represent a signal. Of course, we can find out this is called as R of S, which is called input, and this is called as C of S, means output. So from input to the output, generally the initial one, the initial variable which is independent variable is represented the input, and then this output variable which is in the last variable which will represent as only having only incoming branches, that variable will be represented as output. So here there is incoming and outgoing is there, so we can represent one more node which is called as dummy node to represent the, say for example, to represent the signal graph, a complete signal flow graph. We need to add one more, say a dummy node xd, dummy node with the value of 1, so to represent only the incoming signal. So this is the input source node, and the sync, this is called as sync node. So that is how we can represent the signal flow graph. Now second method, so how to obtain second method from the given block diagram, so I have, so this is the easy way to represent the block diagram. If there are critical rules, we can find out, we can solve the using this method. So we can draw the block diagram. So that is from the given, second method is from the given block diagram. From the given block diagram. So I will represent a block diagram here, that is R of S and a summing point here. Then as a example, okay, I'm just drawing an example, G1. Then there is a takeoff point, and then from this G3. Then one more, just I'll represent a simple G2, and then one summing point which are entering at this point. So here there is no need to apply the block diagram reduction rules. Okay, so here there is no need to apply the block diagram reduction rules. Just from the this block diagram itself, I can draw a signal flow graph without shifting anything. Okay, so only thing is we have to take the takeoff points and the summing points as the variables, I mean nodes. Okay, right. So this is one C of S. Then from this signal, takeoff signal, we have feedback of H2 with a negative, that is negative feedback. And one more is from this, you have negative feedback with the value is H1, with the value is H1. So this is the block diagram I have, and from this block diagram, see, these are the signals, directions are very, very important, so don't miss out these directions. Okay, so once you know this block diagram, from this block diagram, how to represent a signal flow graph. So as I told that you need to draw, first you need to draw the, first what are the summing points, you need to represent the summing point on this thing. So this is the summing point to 1, then takeoff point to 1, then summing point 2, and then takeoff point to 2. Of course these two are same, so I can represent only one takeoff point here. So summing point 1 and takeoff point 1, summing point 2, takeoff point. These are all taken as what you call nodes in the representation of block diagram. So first and foremost, I'll write this summing point 1 as the first node, that is the summing point 1 is the first node. Then after summing point, in the same sequence I need to write, and the same sequence I need to write, that is takeoff point 1. Then I need to write the summing point 2. This is the summing point 2. Then I need to write the takeoff point 2. Okay, so once I have written summing point 1, takeoff point 1, and the summing point 2 in the same sequence which I have, I mean the block diagram, see summing point 1, after summing point 1 there is a takeoff point 1, then afterwards S2, then T2. So similar sequence I have to write first. Then Now you just draw the what are the signals are coming with the, see, from the summing point to takeoff point 1, there is a one signal flow is flowing with the block gain transfer function of G1. So it means that I can represent the block gain here with a G1. So S1 to T1 with a block gain is G1. So that whatever the in the blocks, that has to be represented as a block transfer function or a branch gain. So similarly from the takeoff point 1, if the signals are moving from, one is in this direction of S2 directly, or one is coming in a parallel to this with a G3 value. So this T1 to S2, it is a G2. Okay, first is G2, then one more is coming like this and entering at this particular point with the value of G3, So then from the summing point to takeoff point, we have a G4. So then I'll represent here a G4. Then from takeoff point 2, once again it is coming back to the summing point 2 with the value of H2, but there is a negative feedback, so that sign is also will be considered. I'll write as minus H2. Then one more takeoff point, from the takeoff point to one more signal is entering at summing point 1. Here is the summing point 1. So from this one more signal which has to enter at this particular point, that is node. Okay, so this node with the value of how much, here is H1, and you look at that there is a negative sign here, so minus H1 need to be represented. So this is a very simple way of obtaining the block diagram. I mean, from the block diagram, this signal flow graph. So this is how we can represent a signal flow graph from the given block diagram. So rather than compared to this set of equations, this is the easiest one to obtain the signal flow graph from the block diagram. So here, if you look at, we don't have the source node, because there is incoming signal and also outgoing signal, and here is also incoming signal and outgoing signals are there. So there is the source node which has only outgoing branches, and there is a sink node which has only the incoming branches. So here I can represent dummy nodes. I can represent the dummy source node, that is a source node, and this is the sink node. I can say sink node, source node, and sink nodes. So likewise, you can represent these dummy nodes with a branch gain of 1. So this is how we can represent a signal flow graph when you give the block diagram. So from the block diagram, it is easy to obtain. So once you know how to obtain the block diagram, then we need to go for solving this signal flow graph. How to solve this signal flow graph? Okay, so that we discuss now. So how to solve means, solve in the sense we need to find out the overall transfer function of the system. How to solve means we need to find out overall transfer function of the system, which is represented in the form of signal flow graph. So how to solve the signal flow graph means how to find out the overall transfer function of the signal flow graph. For that, one method is there, that is called as by using the Mason's gain formula. So in the block diagram, what we have done, we have applied the block diagram reduction rules in the case of block diagrams. If in this case, similarly, we use, if the SFG is known, the signal flow graph of the system is known, then I can apply the Mason's gain formula. So that we can get the overall transfer function of the system. So here Mason's, Mason is the name of the scientist which is come out with this particular his own formula to solve the signal flow graph. And this formula is stated, overall transfer function. We can write as overall transfer function is equal to, he has given one single equation with variables. That variables are very important to understand. So he has given sigma tk, or we can say pk also, it's not an issue. So I'll write pk only, path. Okay, so pk, okay, into del k divided by del. Okay, so here I can write summation of I is equal to 1 to k. Means here pi del I can write I is equal to k is equal to 1 to n. I can write k is equal to 1 to n, 1 to n. K is equal to 1 to n. Means if there are k is I'll discuss what are the each variable in the equation is represents. So but you should know what the formula is. Summation of pk into del k divided by del, pk into del k divided by l del. So that what each parameter represents in this case is, so where k is equal to number of forward paths in the signal flow graph. Number of forward paths in the signal flow graph. So yesterday we discussed about what is meant by forward path, because when we told that terminologies, it is the path which is generated from the input to the output without touching any node twice. That is very important. The forward path is the path nothing but which is generated from the input node and the ending at the output node without tracing the any node twice. So we need to find out how many ways we can reach the output from the input. That shows that number of forward paths. So coming to the second parameter in this pk. So what is a pk? P is nothing but forward path gain. So it is a path gain. It is a gain of kth forward path. Means if there are two forward paths, if two forward paths is there, then P1, P2 you are going to get. Means P1 is the gain of first forward path, P2 is the gain of second forward path, P3 is the gain of third forward path. Like that, it decides, the K decides how many forward paths you have. Based on that, this P values will be there. So P1, P2, P3 like that. Okay, if K is equal to 4, so then P1, P2, P3, P4 we need to find out, because there are 4 forward paths, then forward path 1 gain, forward path 2 gain, forward path 3 gain, forward path gain 4. Likewise, you need to calculate. And said we can write the del equation here, one more parameter which is called as, before writing the del k value, I write first del equation. So del is very important, is del equation, how to write the del equation. Then first, this is called 1 minus del is I mean calculated based on this 1 minus c summation of all individual loops, all individual feedback loops. Means if there is say for example there are 3 loops, L1, L2, L3 loops in the system. So then we have to sum. Summation means this symbol represents the summation of all the 3 loop gains, means L1 plus L2 plus L3 here. And also we need to include the self loop here. So here including self loops. If you have a self loop also, that is also we need to include in this case. Then plus, so and continuation, so this bracket is continuing with this, okay, plus summation of very important point here, product of gains of all possible, product of gains of all possible combinations of 2 non-touching loops, possible combinations of possible combinations of two non-touching loops. Two non-touching loop means, as we discussed in the last class, L1, L2, say for example L2, L3, L3, L1. If these are the three loops which you have, which are non-touching. Non-touching means two combinations. Two combinations. Say for example L1, L2, L3 is, these three are non-touching. This is what called as one combination we have, which are three non-touching loops. One combination of three non-touching loops. So here three combinations we have of two non-touching loops. This is one two non-touching loops, this is one two non-touching loops, and this is one two non-touching loops. Okay, so that is how we can find out. Next, one more is also we need, right? Minus, see, because it is alternative will be written which is only in the case of I can say it is plus minus, it has to go like this, it has to go like this, minus it has come, then plus, then minus. So minus summation of, once again, summation of product gains I can write like this, okay, like this. Then summation of product of gains of all possible combinations of three non-touching loops. So you should know, as I told you in the last class, the terminals which are used here, I am using in the Mason's gain formula. What are the terminals is used? So forward path we are using here, path gain we are using here, feedback loop we are using here, self loop we are using here, and also two non-touching loops we are using, three non-touching loops also we are using. So these are all the terms which you have discussed in the last class. If you understand those terms, then it will become easy to solve all this. Then once again summation of product of gains of all possible combinations of four non-touching loops, like that. So it will be continued like this. It will be continued, but maximum you will get only up to 3. Okay, so this is the del equation. So one more parameter which is left over in this Mason's gain formula is del k. What is a del k? So we know first we need to write the del equation. We need to write the first number of forward path, and then pk, then del equation. Del equation says 1 minus of summation of all these equations to be written first. Then once you write this equation, then we need to go for writing the del k equation. So del k equation is obtained from del equation only. So del k is equal to, so here del k equation is nothing but it is the value of above del equation, value of above del value only. In the sense, how we are going to write? By very importantly, by eliminating what we are to eliminate? All the loop gains, okay, which are all the loop gains which are very important here, which are touching in the sense, non-touching means there is no common node, touching means there should be a common node. So if they are touching, then you can eliminate those touching loop gains. So touching to the kth, touching to the kth forward path means, here if I told here there are 4 forward paths k, so then we can have the del 1, del 2, del 3, del 4, means whatever the loop gains which are touching to the forward path, that all loop gains to be eliminated from the del equation. Value of the above del equation by eliminating okay, all the loop gains which are touching to the kth forward path. Similarly, del 2, then del 3, del 4 means second forward path, third forward path, what are the loops gains are touching, then we need to eliminate all those. Then fourth forward path, what are the loops are touching to this fourth forward path, all the loop gains are to be eliminated in this. Okay, so this is what we can say a Mason's gain formula. So very important thing is you need to understand this Mason's gain equation. Okay, what is the Mason's gain formula, what are the parameters present in this Mason's gain formula, and each, what is the feedback loop, what is the forward path, what is the path gain. Yesterday we have discussed about all those terminologies. Same terminology I'm using here. And non-touching loops, I mean combinations of two non-touching loops and the combinations of three non-touching loops, all you should know. And here the product of gains means, as I told, that L1 into L2 is called as a L1 and L2 is a one combination, that is a two non-touching loop. Then the product of gains, we can say it is a L1 into L2. Similarly, product of gains of all possible combinations of three non-touching loops in the sense L1 into L2 into L3. So this is how we can write the del equation. Once you write the del equation, del k can be obtained by writing the once you write the del equation, del k can be obtained by eliminating the loop gains which are touching to the kth forward path, in the sense, if I want to write the del 1, then first forward path which are touching the loop gains, that has to be eliminated. So we'll discuss with one simple problem here. Okay, right, so that you can understand better. Yeah, so here I'm taking one problem. Okay, so find the overall transfer function of the given, using Mason's gain formula for the given SFG. So here I draw the SFG now. So look at the SFG, how it is mentioned. So this is the source node, and from this there are 6 nodes you can represent. 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5, then 6. Okay, so this is the signals which are flowing like this. Then from the second node there is a fifth node, second node, which is connected to the fifth node in a forward path direction, like this. Then from the fifth node, once again it has a feedback like this. Okay, next is one more loop which is inside this loop, that is called as this one, and he has represented all the branch gains are, say for example, branch gains are this one, which is G1, say this is G2, then this is say G3, then this is say G4, then this is say G5, then this is G6, and this is minus H1, negative feedback, and this is say minus H2. Okay, so this is the one which is represented as signal flow graph. Then we need to find out the overall transfer function of the signal flow graph. First and foremost thing, when the signal flow graph is given, in order to find out, first and foremost thing is we need to find how many forward paths are there. So if you look at what is the forward paths, so how many forward paths here there. So first we need to find out how many. So here this is called as input and this is called as output. So how many ways I can reach from this? Say if I mention this as A and this as B and this as C and this is say D and then this is say E and this is say F. So how many ways we can reach from A to F? Yes, there is a first forward path 1. I can say it is a forward path 1, which is forward path 1, which is A to B. Yes, B to C, straight path, always there is a straight path which is forward path 1, D to E, then E to F. Okay, so when you write like this, then this is a first forward path 1. So is there any other way of representing the forward path 1? Yes. Once A to B I can go, then from B to C, this is the direction of the signal is in forward. So I can say this is 1, and then I can reach till here. So this is the one more path I have. So I can write forward path 2. I can write forward path 2, which is equal to A to B, but B to directly E, then to F. So these are the two forward path which I identified, and we need to find out the path gains also. So that is, we can write P1 is equal to path gain, see, path gain of forward path, path gain of forward path 1. So that is A to B, what is the gain, branch gain value? That is G1, into B to C is G3, then C to D is G4, then D to E is G5, then E to F is G6. E to F is G6. So this is the forward path gain 1. Okay, similarly, P2, you need to find out P2 is path gain of, P2 is path gain of forward path 2. So what is the forward path 2? So we have told that there is a path from A to B. So for path 1, path from A to B is G1, B to E is G2, then E to F is G6. So G1, G2, G6, I'm going to get G1 into G2 into G6 is the path gain. The second point is always we need to find out how many loops are there in the problem. So second one is identifying the loops, or we can say feedback loops, which are feedback loops. And what one more is we have is self loop and self loop. So here there is no self loop, because if you look at the signal flow graph, there is no self loop here. See here, how to identify a loop. I have to identify a loop here. So when you look at this, a signal has to be feedback loop, in the sense a signal has to generate one particular node, and it has to pass through the another node, and it has to terminate at the same generating node only. So if you look at here, there is a signal which is from C to D, then D to C. So CDC I can write as one loop. CDC is one loop. So I'll write first loop 1. So loop 1, okay, loop 1 is equal to C to D, D to C is the loop 1. So we'll see one more loop also if there is, okay. Then look at the diagram. Now see, one signal is generated from B, then it is reached to the C, and it can touch more than one node also, but no node should be repeated here. Okay, so B to C, then C to D, then D to E, then coming back to this B. So this is also one loop it is going to form, that is B to C, C to D, D to E, then one loop. So this is one more loop, we can say, that is the loop 2. So I can write the loop 2 is B to C, C to D, D to E, then E to B. So B to C, C to D, D to E, then to B. This is the loop 2. Then one more loop is there, we check out. Okay, so that is the loop 2 we have written. Next, loop 3. So if you look at loop 3 here, from B to, this is the signal is generated to B to E, then it is coming back in the feedback path E to B. So B to E, then E to D is one kind of loop. So there are 3 loops in this signal flow graph. So first and foremost thing is we need to identify the forward path. Once you identify the forward path, then find out the forward path gains. Then once you identify the forward path, calculate the forward path gains, then go for the second step is loops. You need to find out the loops. How many loops are there? Either it may be a feedback loop or self loop. So loop 1, loop 2, loop 3. Like this, B to E, third loop is B to E and then to B back. So these are all called as, there are 3 loops which are present in this game. Then L1 is represents the loop gain 1, means loop 1 gain of loop loop 1, which is CDC. What is the branch transfer function of this CDC, which you need to look at in the diagram? Then we can find out. See here, C to D, that is G4, then D to C minus H1. So G4 into minus H1, G4 into minus H1 is the loop 1 gain. Loop 1 gain, that is G4 into minus H1 is nothing but minus G4 into H1, minus G4 into H1. Next, coming to the second one. Yeah. So second loop is B to C, C to D, D to E, and then E to B once again. So G3 into G4 into G5 into minus H2. So the branch gains to be multiplied, that is G3 into G4 into G5. Then in this feedback path, I have minus H2. So G3 into G4 into G5 into minus H2, I'll get minus G3, G4, G5, H2 minus G3, G4, G5, H2 is the second loop gain. So L2, I'll write as L2 is the gain of loop 2, that is minus of G3, G4, G5 into H2. Then what is L3? L3 is B to E, E to B. So B to E and E to B. So what is the B to E branch gain and E to B branch gain? So B to E is the branch gain of G2 and the E to B is the branch gain of minus H2. E to B is the branch gain of minus H2. So in this we can write G2 into minus H2. So it will become as minus G2 H2. It will become as minus G2 H2. So that is the loop 3 gain as gain of loop 3 is minus G2 into H2. So this is what we need to find out the first 2 steps. The next step is writing the del equation. Third one is very important. So I will go step by step. Before writing the Mason's gain formula, I need to find out all this in the beginning. Writing del equation. So what is the del equation represents? So we have written that del is equal to 1 minus of summation of all individual loop gains. What are the individual loop gains? How many loops we have? So all the loop gains to be added up, that is L1 plus L2 plus L3, all the loop gains as added. Next, combinations. So plus combinations of 2 non-touching loop combinations. So if you look at the here loop 1 and loop 2 here only can write down. I can write down here only. Okay, combinations of 2 non-touching loops. Okay, so here there should non-touching in the sense there should not be any common node. If you look at loop 1, C, D, C is there, B, C, D is there. C is the common in these 2, loop 1 and loop 2. So these are not said to be a non-touching because it has a common node. Loop 1 and loop 2 has a common node here. Okay, so that's why I can consider this. Then look at L1 and L3. C, D, C, B, E, B. So there is no common between this loop 1 and loop 3. So there is one combination, that is L1, L3. And one more, L2, L3 is also you need to check out because all the possible L1, L2, L1, L3, L2, L3. Okay, so L2, L3, if you look at B, B, there is a common 2 nodes are there. E is also common here. So these 2 also not will be possible. So any 3 non-touching loop combinations, no chance because this all having one or the other way one common node in the loops. So only this L1 and L3 will come. So now while writing this equation, because the first term says about the all individual loop gains including self loop, plus product gains of product gains of all some combinations of two non-touching loops. Means that is nothing but I can write L1 into L3. Product gains in the sense L1 into L3. Next minus, is there any three non-touching loops? No. So that's why I can stop the equation here itself. I can stop the equation here itself. So it means that the del equation can be stopped here itself. The del equation can be stopped here itself. That is, it's individual. First one is sum of all individual loop gains. First one is sum of all individual loop gains. This is the sum of sigma all individual loop gains. That is what it represents, all individual loop gains. This one is summation of product of gains of all possible combinations of two non-touching loop. If you look at the del equation, you can find out that. So L1 L3 is a product of gains. L1 into L3 product of gains. So there is only one combination. So I have written only end up with the L1 into L3 only. If there is any other combination, say for example L2 L3, then plus L2 into L3 you need to write here. Okay. So likewise you need to go on. So this is the del equation now. Now very importantly, once you write the del equation, determine the del k values. That is del k value. Fourth one is determining the del k values. How many del k values are there? Because there are two forward path, that is k is equal to 2 here. So I'll get del 1 and I'll get del 2. So what are the loops are touching? What are the loops of touching to the forward path 1? So if you look at forward path 1 is, say for example, it is represented as A, B, C, D, E, F. So this is the forward path 1. So in this forward path 1, you look at A, B, C, D, F. So loop 1 is touching. Why? Because C is there. Here is also C is there. So loop 1 is touching. So that is not considered. And the loop 2 is also touching. And loop 3 is also touching because there is a common node B, there is a common node E. So all the loops are touching in the forward path. All the loops are touching for the first forward path. When I am touching all the forward path, what is the del 1 or del k equation? So we need to eliminate the loop gains. Which are touching. Say for example, in this loop 1 is touching. While writing the del 1 equation, loop 2 is also touching and loop 3 is also touching, and even the combinations also to be eliminated. So ultimately my del 1 equation will become only 1 because all will be eliminated. Because if you look at the equation, if you look at the Mason's gain equation, eliminate the loop gains in the above del equation, eliminate all the loop gains in the which are touching to the forward path. So first forward path, all the loop gains will be touched. Always del 1 will become 1 only. Next, coming to the del 2. So del 2 is nothing but second forward path. So what is the second forward path? Second forward path is we have mentioned in the letters is A, B, E, F. So first loop 1. See, if you look at C, D, C, there is no C here in the A, B, E, F, or there is no D in this equation. So it means that for the second forward path, this loop is not touching. So we cannot eliminate this loop 1. And B, C, D, yes, there is a B. And B, E, B, yes, there is a E and B. So these two are touching. You can eliminate these two loop gains which are touching to that forward path too. So only L1 is left over in the del equation. So for that, second del equation can be written as 1 minus L1 is kept like that, L2 will be removed, L3 is also removed, and the combination, even though L1 is touching, but the L3 is touching, the combination also will be removed, even though L1 is not touching. Okay, L3 is touching. Because of this also to be eliminated. So what is the del 2 equation which you got is here? Del 2 is 1 minus L1. So this is how you need to write the del equations and del 1 equation, del 2 equation, and all those. So now I have got all the values which you need to represent in the Mason's gain formula. That is, Mason's gain formula is equal to, of course, we need to represent in the form of what is the loop gain. 1 minus L1. L1 is what? L1 is the loop 1 which I have taken. That value is minus G. L1 is minus G4 H1, I think, minus G4 H1. So here we need to write, substitute G4 into H1. Similarly, in the del equation also you need to substitute all the values. Minus of L1 is minus G4 H1 minus G3 G4 G5 H2, then minus G2 H2. You need to substitute all, then plus minus G4 L2 and L3, L1 and L3. So L1 is minus G4 into H1, this into minus G2 into H2. So this is the substitution of the loop gains also in the equation. So this has to be done. Okay, this has to be done. Now I'll write the Mason's gain formula, that is which represents the equation, that is overall transfer function. So Mason's gain formula, Mason's gain formula is equal to our overall transfer function. I can say this is the overall transfer function. Overall transfer function is equal to summation of k is equal to 1 to 2, because 2 forward paths, then pk del k divided by del, means p1 into del 1 plus p2 into del 2 divided by del. So this is the overall transfer function. This is the overall transfer function. So substitute all the values. P1 is equal to, we need to substitute P1, how much you got? G1 into all the loop gains, G1, G3, G4, G5, 6, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. So G1 into G3 into G4 into G5 into G6. Del 1 is 1, so into 1 is 1 only. Then plus P2 is what? P2 is, I think, forward path 2 is mentioned as G1, G2, G6. G1, G2, G6. So G1, G2, G6 to be written here. G1, G2, G6. So G1, G2, G6 and del 2. What is the del 2 value here? 1 minus G4 into H1. Okay. So next, divided by del equation. So del equation to be written as, you have to substitute all the G values in this equation. So divided by 1 minus, so you need to, because if you look at this equation in the simplified equation, this one, so del equation which is written as minus, you can take out common, so 1 plus G4 into H1, 1 plus, I can write as this one. Okay, del equation I can write here in a simple way, 1 plus G4 into H1 plus G3 G4 G5 into H2, then plus G2 H2. Here minus into minus plus will get, so then plus G4 G2 into H1 H2. So this is the del equation that I am writing the same here in the denominator. In the denominator, that is, here I'll get plus G4, sorry, G4, what we have written here, yeah, G4 H1, so G4 H1 plus G3 G4 G5 H2 plus G2 H2, then plus G4 G2 or G2 G4, whatever it is, G2 G4 H1 H2. So this is the overall transfer function of the given signal flow graph by using the Mason's gain formula. So I have used the Mason's gain formula where the parameters need to be calculated, that is forward path gain, del values, del k values, all these three to be known. So how to find out the P's and how to find out the del and how to find out del k is very important in the signal flow graph. So with this I can stop today and we'll discuss in the next class. So all of you enter the USN in the chat box. All of you enter the USN in the chat box and then leave the class.